Okay then. Okay, let me just adjust the camera a little bit. Okay, I think it's nice now. Okay then guys, good evening, good evening, good evening everyone. Good evening Positive, good evening Rohan, Chandrakant, Stephen, Manav. Good evening guys, how are you all? Hi Utpal, hi Rohan, hi Nand. Good evening Akhilesh. I'm good Nand, I'm really good, I'm really good. Tell me, how are you all? How are you all? Good evening guys, good evening everyone. How are you all? And let me see, I think my camera quality is not looking that great. I think something is happening here. I don't know why. On YouTube, the camera quality is not looking that great. I think the video is fine, right? I'll change the camera quality after some time. But I think the video looks fine, right, everyone? Okay. Hi, Nikita. Good evening. Good evening. Welcome to the stream, Nikita. Hi, Naveen. Good evening, buddy. Good evening, Bilal. Green screen not. I actually changed it. I don't know. Something was happening today. I don't know why it was not capturing the green screen. So I just opened it and I saw that problem happening. So now I'll settle it afterwards. I'll actually go ahead and change the settings. It might take a lot of time because I'm not expert in OBS. So that's why I completely removed it. So after the session, I'll check it out and I'll solve the problem. That's what I'll do. But I hope that's fine, right? It's not that disturbing, right, guys? I hope the green screen that you can see behind me, it's not disturbing you that much, hopefully. Okay. And I also have to improve the camera quality. I can say it's not looking that great, the quality. But yeah, I'll do that afterwards. Okay. Hi, Ganesh. How are you, buddy? Okay. So guys, hopefully all of you are doing good. Hopefully all of you are having the great start of this year. And hopefully I'm contributing a little bit in that by teaching you React. I'm hoping that. So yep, then let's go. So guys, so far in this course, we have covered a lot of things. Now you know a lot of React to actually start building applications, right? You know about state, you know about props, you know about a use effect, you know about how to call API, how to get data, how to display UI based on that. So now you know a lot of things. You literally know a lot of things. But there are few more things that if you know, you can actually create much more better application. So there are a few more topics left, which we'll be learning in the next 2 days. And after that, we'll be jumping on to the project where we'll utilize everything that we have learned so far so that you can get the idea of how to actually create a project. Okay. Finally, Discord. Yes, yes, I created Discord yesterday. Yes, yes. I'm doing good, Bilal. And in my Discord link, it's showing invite invalid. Don't worry, I'll share the link afterwards, the Discord link at the end of the session. Don't worry, I'll be sharing that. So, guys, today we are again starting with two topics. First of all, as discussed, yesterday we didn't cover useRef because we didn't get that much time because we are too busy working with the form handling. But I hope that form handling is clear to everyone. And I hope that everyone is practicing. Guys, I'm really hoping that you guys are practicing. That is how you'll get the complete value from this course if you practice. Okay. So today, guys, the two main topics are again, first of all, one of the very important topics, one of the core topics if you want to start building applications using React, which is routing. Okay. And the next one we'll be talking about today is going to be useRef. So these are the two main topics. Good evening, Drex. Good evening, Chandrakant. Hi, sir. Are you working somewhere? Yes, I work as a freelance corporate trainer and a developer. So yeah, not exactly at one place, but yeah, I work at multiple places at one time. You can say that. Okay. So guys, these are the two main topics for today, routing and useRef. We'll keep useRef for the last. Again, don't worry. Today, I'm not going to leave it. Today, we'll definitely cover useRef. Don't worry. Trust me. We'll be covering it. Okay. So now then, let's start with the first topic of today, which what we call it as routing. So first of all, guys, I know that you have already understood routing because we have actually talked about it in between our sessions. But today, let's go and let's understand it once more. So what exactly is routing? Okay. So at core, if I like, what is the basic definition of routing? It's very easy, guys. Whenever you open or access something, listen to me carefully. Whenever you open, so let's say opening or accessing something based on a path, that is what you call as routing. Now that can be a path or it is also called as a route. So path and route kind of same. So whenever you open or access something based on a route, that is what you call as routing. Okay, now there are multiple examples. For example, let me give you a very simple example. Let's say I go in my folder, right? So this is my folder, correct, everyone? So let's say something like this. Okay, let's say something like this. Now this on the top, you can see here, this is nothing but a path or a route. Path or a route, whatever you can call it, you can call it. Now this path, if I copy it, right, and if I go in my Explorer, and on the top, let's say this is my path bar or route bar or something like that, and if I put this path here and I press enter, what my computer will do is it will go to this particular path and open that particular folder for me, which is mentioned in this path. This is also an example of routing. Simple. When you open a web page in a browser, guys, that's also browser is doing nothing but it's simply accessing the path where the file exists and it opens the file for you. That's all. Is that clear, guys? So whenever you open or access something based on a path, that is what we call as routing. Now, this is also what we call as routing. You saw it here, but technically we are going to be dealing in web pages. So let's talk about that. So let's go on a website. For example, let's go to again one of the very famous that I use a lot, Flipkart. So let's say I go to flipkart.com. Okay, so now think of this like where I'm writing flipkart.com. Now this is the domain name, but think of it like this, that this is the root folder. Now guys, this is the main folder. So by doing flipkart.com, I'm accessing the main folder. So somewhere, now we know guys, we create websites. So we know that website is nothing but collection of files. Correct guys? We know that somewhere Flipkart's HTML, CSS, JavaScript file is stored. So let's say there might be some folder. Inside that folder, the whole Flipkart project, HTML, CSS, JavaScript is stored. Right? So whenever I do flipkart.com, that means I'm accessing that particular folder. That is the root folder. Like our C drive. C drive is our computer's root folder. Right? Everything starts from there. So by writing flipkart.com, I'm accessing the Flipkart's root folder. And in the root folder, there is one main page which I decided, and that is what we are seeing here. Right? Now, when I click on, let's say, mobiles, now check guys, the whole routing path has changed. So now it's letting you go to some new folder and there might be some new file, and that's what you're accessing. Now this URL doesn't look that easy. We know why, because if it is that easy, then anyone can read it and access it. But they have a lot of things in it. Now guys, see, we have already learned Node.js. So we definitely know that in the path, we also pass variables, right? So here some variables are passed, right? That is basically a way of passing data to that particular file. We have already seen it, guys. We have learned Node.js, so we know what exactly is path. Right? In API, we have seen based on a path, we call a function. Correct, guys? Based on a path, we call an endpoint, API endpoint. And in the path, we can also pass variables that we can use that in that particular function. Same thing here, guys. So in Node.js, based on a path, we were calling a function, an API endpoint. In here, on the front end side, based on a path, we'll be opening a web page. That is what we call as routing. Simple. So in Node.js also we did routing. But here it's a different concept, because here it is very important, because we are going to be opening different pages on different paths. Now, for example, here I click on, let's say, woman, sari, something like that. So now see, the whole path has changed and a new page has opened. So guys, this is what you call as routing. And in our application, we also might have a lot of data, and we want to display different data based on different path, right? So that we can also create this beautiful looking navigation, right? For example, let's go on the Wheat website. Now here, if we go, you can see when I click on guide, the guide page opens. When I click on config, the config page opens. And you can see the path is changing. Now it's /config. When I click on plugins, the plugins page open, and see the route has changed. So for different routes, a different page is attached to it. So it's basically internally mentioned that on this path, this page will open. On this path, this page will open. On this path, this page will open. And whenever I click on a link, it opens that path, and based on the path, the page is opened. That's the whole idea. Is that clear, guys? Everyone understood what is routing? Hopefully. It's everywhere. In computers, it's everywhere. When you're opening a folder, that's also just doing routing. When you're clicking on a link and opening a web page, that's also routing. When you're going in the browser, writing an address, that's also what we call as routing. It depends on what you're opening or accessing. So the process, or you can say simply opening or accessing a file or a web page or a function based on a path, is what you call as routing. And we also want to achieve that in our React application. Okay. Cool then. I hope the whole concept is now understood. And now we want to achieve that exact same thing in our fresh React application. Okay. Now guys, first of all, we know that in our React application, we don't have multiple pages. We know that we only have one file, which is index.html. Okay, let me zoom it. And guys, now today I have learned from my mistakes. Okay, so I have already created a project to save some time and I have already cleaned this up. You can see my app.jsx is a very simple looking file. Everything is cleaned up. Okay, simple idea, nothing big. But now guys, in this case, we know that our whole application only contains one page, which is index.html. Is that clear, guys? So there is only one page. So technically we don't have multiple pages. So we cannot create a website having multiple pages because our React application only contains one HTML page. But we can still make it look like a multiple page application. Remember guys, React cannot create multiple page applications like the main, like you have different files. No, it cannot be done. But we can actually give that behavior to React. Even though there is a single page, we can make React behave like a multiple page application. So guys, I hope you're understanding the point that React can not create actual multiple pages. There will be only one HTML page. But what we'll be doing is, let me show you now. So let's quickly go on a Jamboard. As I said, React, that's the reason React is called as a single page application library, because it only has one page, but we can mimic it. We can make it look like a multiple page application. How? Let's try to understand it quickly, very quickly. Then we can directly jump onto routing. Okay. So, let's get the idea. So guys, this is your index.html. Let's say this is your index.html. We know that in index.html, we load our app component. So let's rename them quickly. Just started your React course, completed Node.js, and thanks so much, Shubhajyoti, and I'm glad that it helped you a lot. Okay, so guys, this is our index.html. Okay, and this is our app component. Simple. So we know this. Now, let's say we create few components. So let's say this is my something like, about us component, in which I'm going to be writing all the content about our website. Then let's say this is my product component, in which I'm loading all my products. Okay, so product. And let's say this is my services component. So I have three separate components in which I have different content. And we know that we can create it. Right, everyone? We know that it's very simple to create it. Now, we know that if I want to display if I want to display product, if I want to display services, I have to load them all in my app component. Then only they will be displayed on the web page. Then only it's possible that they'll be displayed on the web page. If I load all of them on app component, correct? But if I load all of them on app component together, in that case, whenever someone opens my web page, they will see all of the three together. That is something I don't want. I don't want to display all these three together. Let me show you what I'm trying to say. So guys, first of all, let's see it practically. Let's quickly go and create these three components, dummy components, no big deal. Let me show you what I'm trying to say here. I know that you know this now because we are already learning React from so many days, but let's quickly do it. And guys, see, from now on, what I'm going to be doing is, for my separate components, I am also going to be creating one new folder. So till now, I was creating my components directly in SRC. That is fine, it's okay, but it will make my folder structure look very bad if I have like 10, 20, 30 components. So that's why I am going to create a new folder called as components. And from now on, I'll put my components inside this folder. Simple. That's it. All my custom components. So let's create it, guys. So first I want the about component. So about.jsx. Let's quickly do it. Function about. Let's simply return some dummy stuff. So return some dummy stuff like, a simple div. Let's give it a class name of about. Okay, guys. And some simple text, lorem. Okay. Some random text. You can see that, right, everyone? Nothing big. Okay. And let's export this component. So export default about. Okay. One component done. Let's load this component. So let's load our about component. I can see it should be here. Okay, let's run our web page. It's already running, but let me run it once again. Okay, here we go. It's up and running. And why are about component? Okay, it's not imported. Let me quickly import it. So import. Now guys, I hope that everyone knows this much. This is not big deal, right? I have simply created one component. It is returning some HTML, JSX, and I'm simply loading it. I hope it's not a big deal, guys. It's very simple, hopefully. And I don't want it to have a separate thing. Okay, simple. So here we go. Let's put it a good color so that, we can understand it better. So dot about, just a little padding of, let's say, 10 pixel, and background color of, let's say, something like sky blue. Simple. Okay, here we go. This is my about component. Leave it now. Also, just to, make it a little bit better, let's put a H1 here. About us. I'm not focusing too much on designing, guys. Don't worry. Let's keep it normal for now. Okay, about us component, all set, done. Now, let's create one more component here. Okay, quickly. Let's call it as, where is it? Yeah. Let's call it as, what was it? Product. So product component. So product.jsx. Let's quickly do it. Function product. Okay, so return some HTML, and let me just adjust my mic a little bit. Yeah, return some HTML. And again, it will be returning a simple div where I'm going to give a class name of product. And inside this, guys, I'll just have 3-4 dummy boxes, okay, just to display it like a product, something like that. Okay, very, guys, I'm just keeping it very normal right now. No designing, no real data, just some basic stuff. Okay, everyone. So div class name product. And in this case, what I'm going to be doing is, okay, let's have some divs inside it. So div, let's call it as prod. So few divs, simple structure, 1, 2, 3, 4 divs. Okay, let's give it some styling. Okay, and I'm also going to be writing product 1, product 2, product 3, and finally product 4. Okay, all set. Let's quickly style this a little bit as well. So for that, we'll go to app.css dot product, simple padding of 20 pixel, and that should be it, and background color of light gray, simple. And then dot prod, the smaller elements which I have inside, they will have a width of, let's say, 20%. Don't focus on the actual styling right now, guys. Just keep it normal. Okay, padding of 10 pixel. So right now it will look something like, okay, let's also load it. I forgot to load the product component. So let's load the product component in app.jsx. So after about, I'm loading the product component. And it's not getting imported by default. So let's import it. Okay, I think I forgot to export. Yep, see, I forgot to export. So export default, not this product. Come on, man. Okay, my IntelliSense is going here and there nowadays. Okay, fine. So import product. Yep, here we go. So now, guys, you will see that there are two components. Here we go. See, product 1, product 2, product 3, but they are going one below each other. I don't want it to be like that. So let's quickly apply some flexing logic to the parent. So display flex and some gap. So column gap of, let's say, 2%. And here we go. But I think the width is a little too much. A width 20%. Let's also give this a width of 100%. And I think I have zoomed my page too much. Yep, this is the actual size. And guys, I forgot the basic CSS idea. That's why we are getting this scroll bar and all that stuff. Let's quickly go to index.css and let's apply the basic reset. By default, margin should be 0. By default, padding should be 0. And box sizing should be border box. Okay, nice and simple. Why I'm not getting the gaps? What happened there? Why am I not getting the gaps? Width 20%, height 300 pixel. Why I'm not getting the gaps? What happened here? Am I making a silly mistake somewhere? Display flex, column gap 2%. What's happening here? Why am I not getting the gaps? See, Now we are facing some CSS issue here. Amazing. Okay. Let me remove the padding a little bit from here. Oh, I didn't give the color. Amazing. Hats off to my thinking for today. I have not given any color and I'm looking for gaps. Yes, exactly. Yes. My bad, guys. My bad. My bad. My bad. I'm really sorry. It happens sometimes, you know. Font size 30 pixel. Okay, here we go, guys. So we have the 4 products now. Leave it now. Let's go for the third component real quick, which is going to be services component, which will be exactly same. We'll just rename the stuff. So new file. Let's call it as service.jsx. Okay. And we'll just copy the exact same product idea and we'll just put it in this one. And we'll just rename the component to service. And here I'm going to be calling it as service and then serve. Some basic stuff here. Nice and simple. And let's put as service 1. Okay. All set, guys. Let's apply some CSS to change the color. The other format will look exactly same. So what I'm going to do is right now, we'll just copy the same CSS. And we'll write it for service and serve. So service and serve. Okay. All set. And for this, I'm going to have a background color of, let's say, yellow, green. Okay. And also let's load it now. Yeah, I forgot to export. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Thank you so much. Service. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, amazing now. And now, guys, what we have to do is we also have to do the import. Okay, so loading the service component and also importing it. Okay, so now you can see this is what I was talking about. So basically, we did it a little fast. I hope you understood, guys, because we are doing React from 5 to 6 days. So now I hope there is no issue in just creating some basic components. Okay, so now you can see, right? We have 3 components. And I have loaded all the 3 on my app.jsx, as I have given you the definition on the first day that if you want any component to be visible on your web page, it should directly or indirectly, it should be loaded on where? On the app component. And now when I have loaded all the 3 components on my app component, I'm able to see all the 3 together. But this is something I want to avoid. What I want is, I want to load any specific component based on a path which I pass in the browser. And that is the concept we call as routing. As I told you initially, whenever you access or open something based on a path, that is what we call as routing. Now, whatever you're opening or accessing, it can be a web page, it can be a file, it can be a function, or it can also be a React component. So guys, when we are doing routing in React, what we basically are trying to do is we want different components to be loaded based on different paths. That's it. That's the whole logic. That's how simple it is. We simply want to load different components. See, right now, all the 3 are loading at one time. What we want is, if in my browser, in the URL bar, if I type /about, I want to load about as component. /product, I want to load product component. /service, I want to load service component. So based on different path, I want to load different component. So I want React to decide which component to load. Because till now we have not seen how to do this. Till now what we did, guys? Till now we loaded everything all at once. Right? Or we did conditional rendering to show or hide component. But here we might have 10, 20 different components. And we actually want this concept where I type a different path and the different components load. That is what we call as routing. Okay, so we want any specific component to load based on a specific path that we type in the browser, which will make our application look or feel like a multiple page application. Okay, so that is what we want to do. We want to do routing to do this logic, to achieve this particular thing. Guys, I hope you're understanding everything till now. Please tell me, everyone, is the logic cleared? Is the idea cleared? Okay, please confirm that once quickly. Now, guys, for this thing, if we want to achieve routing in React, so for that thing, we have to go ahead and install one library, okay, in our project. Now this is the first library that we are installing separately. Till now we have used all the features of React. Now this is one library that we need to install, okay, and the library name is React Router DOM. Okay, one of the very famous and one of the most used libraries in React for routing. So let's go and let's install it. npm install React Router DOM. Now it might take 30 seconds, 40 seconds. Yep, here we go. All set. So now guys, React Router DOM is installed. If you go in your package.json, you can see it here. Now, initially by default, you get React and React DOM. Now you're getting React Router DOM. Okay, so it's up, and here, can we use logic conditional to control route as well? Yes, we can, but that will, it will be very messy. Yes, definitely. We can use JavaScript to read the path, and based on the path, we can apply if and else to load different components, but it will not be that handy. See, internally routing is also conditional rendering. That means someone else is doing that. For us, it is becoming easier. But yes, Naveen, for your question, buddy, yes. Guys, if you don't want to use this library, we can still use JavaScript functionalities to read the path from the browser and do conditional rendering. We can do that. We can also create our own routing library, our own routing code, but that will be very messy, and doing it again and again for different projects will be very tricky. That's why we are opting for a library, which is very famous. Okay. So guys, let's go everyone. Let's start. Okay, let me answer one question, guys, before we move ahead. Ajinkya is asking, sir, what is the difference between class-based component and function-based component? See, simple idea is, when you create a component using the functional logic, that is what we call as functional components. This is what we call as function-based component. And you can also use classes or JavaScript classes to create components. So if you're doing that, that means you're working with class-based components. So basically in React, there are two ways of creating components. One is by using functions, one is by using classes. Generally, right now, the most famous way is functional way. But initially when React was created, at that time, it was only class way. So for the first few years, it was only class-based component. Even I first learned class-based. But after that, they created the functional component logic, and it was very easier to understand and learn because JavaScript is also now it is object-oriented. It uses classes as of now. But from its initial days, JavaScript was a functional-oriented programming language. And people have worked a lot with functions. That's why it's easier to understand React when you're writing functional components. Because when you learn basic JavaScript, when you learn DOM manipulation, at that time also you use a lot of functions. That's why it's easier to learn React when you're working with functional components. But class-based is also very easy. It's not that tough. Few things changes, like handling lifecycle changes and handling state changes. These are the two main things that changes: handling lifecycle and handling state. Other than that, almost everything is quite simple. Other than that, other things are quite similar. The main things that changes in class-based and functional-based is the way you handle state changes, the way you handle lifecycle changes. Okay, and you don't have hooks there. Functional components are known as application components. Is this correct? I think in this case, everything is an application component, right, Naveen? Functional component, class component, all of them. Okay, like I can convert this into a class-based component as well. The idea and the structure will change, definitely. Okay. So guys, are we cleared? So now we have installed it, React Router DOM. Now then, let's run the project again. So npm run dev. And now let's go ahead and let's try to do the routing stuff. So how to do that? Very important. Now guys, see, you can perform the routing logic in any component. Okay, but you have to decide for how many components or for which components you want the routing to be done. As of now, I want all my main components to be having that routing feature. That's why, and I know that I'm loading all my main components on my app components. So I'm going to be writing the routing logic here. So let's see how to do it. So now that React Router DOM library or that React Router DOM package gives you three main components. Internally, it gives you three components. And those three components will help us to perform routing. Okay. Now guys, again, as I'm saying, it's up to you where you want to perform routing. For example, I can ignore the app component and maybe I can perform routing in some other component. But don't worry guys, that's a topic for some next session. I'll be showing you how to do that internal routing. For now, let's do the basic routing. It's just I want to tell you that it's not always fixed that you will do routing here only. Sometimes people think that it's fixed. It's up to you. Okay, let me show you how. So first of all, there are three things that you need to import from the React Router DOM package. Okay, and the three things are, first is the main component called as browser router. Second is something called as routes. And third is something called as route. So these are the three main things that you need to import: browser router, routes, and route. Okay, simple idea. Three things. Now, you have to understand where do you want to perform routing. So right now, I'm going to be writing my routing logic in my app component here only, because everything other than app, I want to be part of routing. Because I know that app is the main component. It's loading by default. But everything other than that, I want it to be part of routing. That's why I'm doing it inside app component. So first, what you will do is you will load the browser router component. Okay, now remember, everything related to routing should go inside browser router only. So now everything else, see, I have app component. Inside app component, first I'm loading the browser router component. Now everything else that I'm creating will go inside browser router component as a child. Okay, so inside browser router, the first thing that you will do is you will create routes component. This is the structure you need to follow, routes. And now inside routes, this is the place where you can define the path and the component that you want to open for that path. Okay, so here you have to define a component called as route. And again guys, it can be a single like self-closing tag. And in this route, there are two main parameters. First is path. Second is element. In the path, you mention the path. So let's say I write slash. Slash means root. Slash means root. That means the base address. Localhost colon 3000 or whatever is the base address. That is what will open when we do slash. So let's say slash and I write element will be about component. About. So what I'm saying is, now see guys, what will happen? What will happen? See, I run my application. I know that index.html loads on the browser. And I know that inside index.html, the app component loads. Correct, everyone? Okay. So now the idea is, if I go back to this space, okay. So app component is loading in index.html and that is loading on browser. So now inside app component, I'm creating a new context area called as browser router. So that browser router is loading in app component. And I'm giving the power to the browser router to decide that you go ahead, browser router component, you go ahead, read the URL. And based on the URL, you load any specific component which I'm giving you. So I'm going to give all my components to browser router. I'm giving all my components to browser router. And I'm also telling on which path I want to open that component. So I'm giving all that configuration to the browser router. And it's browser router's job to read the URL bar and based on that, understand the path and based on that, load that component. Is that clear, everyone? So now see, to the browser router, I'm telling, okay, please, when the path is slash, that means root, please open the about component. Or for now, let's write about, slash about. Okay. And also now, one more route, when the path is slash product, please load the product component. And when the path is service, please load the service component. See guys, so now I'm not loading my components directly in app component. See guys, again, understand logic. I'm not loading my components in app component. Inside app component, I'm loading browser router. And then to the browser router, I'm giving it the configuration. Then please, browser router, read the path from the browser URL bar. And if that path matches slash about, please load this component. If it matches slash product, please load this component. If it matches slash service, please load this component. And now guys, if you go ahead and see, right now, nothing is loading. Why? Because what is my path? See, see guys, when I'm writing slash about, in that case, we mean the base address slash about. Base address is in this case, localhost colon 5173. Or it can be localhost colon 3000. In future, it can be your domain, www. Let's say thorab.com, sabine.com, naveen.com, whatever it is. So this is your base address, guys. This is the base address. Remember that this path is always after the base address. So in this case, right now, the path is localhost colon 5173 and then there's nothing. That means it's only slash. Slash means root. Right now we are at root. That's why nothing is loading, because about only loads when slash about. See guys, about component loaded. If I now go and write slash product, see, product component loaded. If I now go and write slash service component loaded. And if I don't write anything, nothing loads. So let's fix this. So for that, we also have to tell browser router that if there is nothing, that means if the path is slash, that means nothing, only the base address. See guys, base address is fixed. Okay, remember that. So if there is nothing, only the base address slash, nothing, slash. So on that also I want to do about component, let's say. So now see, by default, about component. And even if I write slash about, it is still about component, because that's what I've mentioned. On base address, on nothing, about component, on slash about component. Is that cleared, guys? And that's how you can achieve the basic routing. Is that cleared, everyone? Guys, I'm hoping that we are cleared here. Please tell me, guys, everyone, are we cleared with the basic routing that we have done? Please, can you confirm that quickly? And also, guys, if you're enjoying the video, come on, let's like the video, guys. Come on, let's go. Let's like. And also, guys, if you're new, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, guys. I'm going to be coming a lot of complete full stack development courses. So please subscribe to the channel as well. It will help me a little bit and it will mean a lot to me. Okay, so guys, are we cleared with this? Can you please confirm that quickly, everyone? So I hope you have understood, right, how simple it was. So previously, we were loading all these components directly in app component, correct? And now what we are doing here? Now, inside app component, we are not loading our components. We are loading browser router component. Browser router component is the one now which will decide which component to load based on the path mentioned in the browser. Simple idea, simple. That's how it is working. Is that clear, guys? Yes, don't worry, Drex. Yes, you can pass route inside route. I'll show you how to do that. Don't worry. How do we select different components? I didn't understand the question, Naveen. Like what exactly you're asking? Like by clicking, not by writing, right? Okay. So guys, if this is cleared, now let's go to the second thing, that we know that the user, like if you go to website, are you the one who writes here? No. You simply click on the buttons or the links, right? As a normal user, you are not going to go and write in the browser, right? Like for example, a normal guy, like a coder or a developer can do this. They can go in the browser and write things and open components and all that stuff. But 90% of the users of computer and mobile phone, they are normal people. They are not going to write routes and all that stuff. They don't even know what is happening in the URL bar. So I want to provide a feature where they can click on this navigation or on these buttons and open components. That means, see, now what's happening, guys? See the process. When someone clicks on the link, that link changes the route in the browser. And then when the route in the browser changes, then the component is changing. That means in our case, one part is happening. Whenever the route in the browser changes, our component loads up. But I don't want this route to be changed by the user manually. I want that route to be changed when someone clicks on a link or a button. So now let's do that. Okay. So now guys, you can do it anywhere. You can create those links anywhere. But guys, see, if you want to create links which can open these routes, you have to make sure that those links are also under browser router. They cannot be written before browser router. Under browser router, anywhere they can be written. Please, not before browser router. So let's say I'm creating this navigation in my app component only. But as I said, not before browser router. But after browser router, here it's fine. So guys, see, if you write something here, that is nothing but part of the app component. Okay, that is part of the app component. Okay, so I'm writing here. So let's simply get a very simple navigation quickly. Okay, so nav. Again, guys, you can also use a div here. It's up to you. Class name nav. Okay, very simple. 3 links I'll create quickly. Let's say about. Let's say product. Let's say service. And also let's get a home component, guys. Let's not load about twice. Let's get a home component, which will be by default loaded. So new file, home.jsx. And here it will be very simple, guys. Function home. Return just a simple message. Welcome everyone. Okay, very simple. Export default home. And now what I'm going to do is, that means when someone doesn't pass anything, I don't want to load. I don't want to load about. I want to load home component. Is it imported? Let's confirm that. Yes, it is imported. Okay. There we go. Make header.jsx. Is it important to create header.jsx, Ajinkya? No, right? Like why I'm doing this here is because first of all, I want everyone to understand that code can be done here as well. Then we can definitely, divide it. I know that on internet, if you go everywhere, they create header.jsx, header.jsx. That is the reason I'm not creating it, because I don't want you guys to have a fixed mind that there will be always a header.jsx. I don't want that. I want you guys to understand that you can do anything here. Okay, so right now I'm putting it here, but don't worry. In future, I'll change it. Definitely, don't worry. Okay, guys, let's go now. So now I'm loading home component. So by default, you can see now, by default, okay, link is there. And let's see what is by default here. Home component. Welcome everyone. Now, guys, I hope you can see that whatever I have written in app component. Okay, now we know, guys, see, this is your app component. Okay. And let's say this is the route. These are all the components which will change based on the route. So if the route is slash, it will load home component. If the route is about, it will load about component. If the route is product, it will load product component. If the route is service, it will load service component. But this is inside app component. That means this will be always there. This is never going anywhere. That's why you can see this is part of the app component. This is home component. So if I go and slash about, browser router will now remove home component and load about component, because that's what you have written in code, right? Either home component. See, out of all them, only one will be visible at one time because of the routes. Okay. So by default home component, if I write about, now we have about component. This is not going anywhere. So this is the constant thing. So that's how you can create a constant header. It will never go anywhere. Is that clear, guys? Because you have created that in app component. An app component is always here. Inside app component, you are loading different components based on the route. They will change. But whatever you write in app component, that will never change. Is the idea cleared, guys, everyone? So you have to understand this concept. Okay, don't get confused why header is not going anywhere. Because these are the components which are based on route. This is by default in app component, so it will never go anywhere. Simple idea. Okay. Okay, now then let's quickly go and let's apply some styling to navigation as well. So what we'll do is, nav. So dot, okay, let's also do dot nav ul, just simply display of flex and column gap of 10 pixel. Okay, very simple, guys. Here you can see that. And I don't want those dots as well. So list dash style dash type should be none. I'm creating a very simple link, guys. Very simple. And background color, let's say gray. Okay, you can see those. things there. Okay. Or maybe let's say dark gray. Dark gray and gray are same. Okay, fine. Guys, I hope you can see that. I think dark gray is looking a little lighter here, but it's okay. Okay. Now then, guys, what I want is when I click on about, the path should change to /about. See, guys, you don't click and load component. The process is you click on a link, that link changes the path in the browser, and when the path in the browser changes, then that component is loaded. That's the whole process. Link is not connected to your component. Link changes the path in the browser. Path in the browser loads the particular component. That's how the thing is working. That's why when we're writing something in the browser path, the component is changing. Fine. Now, remember guys, in normal HTML, we use a tag to create links. But in React, and if you're using routing, you don't use a tags. What we use is one more component provided by React Router DOM, which is link. Okay, which is link. So now here, what we have to do is we have to put them inside links. Okay, so link tag. So wrap it. It behaves like a only, guys, so don't worry about it. You can style it like a only. So link tag. And now here you have to pass 2. So whenever I'm clicking this link, where do you want to go? So I want to go to /about. Guys, exactly same what you have given here. So I'm saying link. So when this link is clicked, go to /about. So it will change the browser path to /about. And when the browser path is changed to /about, the browser router knows, oh, for /about, I need to open about component. Simple. And now same thing. For product. And same thing for service. And let's create one more link for home as well. Home. Okay, we have actually, slash is home, right? Okay, so now guys, what we are saying is when someone clicks on home, go to /. When it goes to /, browser router knows, oh, if the path is /, load home component. When someone clicks on about, it will go to /about. Browser router knows, if it is /about, load the about component. And just like that, each and every component will be loaded. So now if you go ahead and see, now they are turned to links. And now if I click on home, see home, about, product, service. And guys, you can also notice the page is not refreshing. Why? Because this is not a real multiple page application. You are simply just removing components. This is only one component. This is only one page. It is index.html. Inside that, it is, app component. And inside that, you're simply just putting one component, removing the other one. Putting one component, removing the other one. So it is like conditional rendering only. That's all. That's why the page is even not refreshing here. You're not actually loading a new page. You're simply removing and adding a component. That's all. Is that cleared, guys? Everyone, are we cleared with this? Ajinkya, I'll do it, buddy. Don't worry. Don't worry. I didn't say I'm not going to do it. What I said is, first I wanted to show you guys that coding here is also possible. Okay, don't worry. Don't worry, buddy. Don't worry. Don't worry. Okay, guys, are we all cleared? This home page is the default. Yeah, we have mentioned it like a default. See, I have mentioned it, right? That on /. So it's not by default. We have written the code to make it default. Default means as soon as the application runs, we know that by default it will be no route, only base address. Base address means /. So by default, I've mentioned on /, I'll be loading home component. See, I've mentioned that. And you can change it to any component. By default, I can load about, product, service, whatever I want. Yes. Now guys, now that you know that we can actually create this navigation like on app component directly inside the browser router, but we know now that this is looking very tricky here, right? It is looking a lot of code here. So what we can do is, guys, again, if you know there is a part of HTML, what is the component? It is simply a function which is returning some HTML. That's all, which is returning some HTML. So I know that this is HTML and it's quite big. So what we can do is we can go ahead and we can create a new file called header.jsx. Okay, let's say this is the component function header. Okay, and now here you can ask this component to hold that HTML for you. Okay, so basically rather than writing this big, that is why we have learned component, right guys? So that we can divide our HTML into multiple sections, right? That is the reason we have learned, right everyone? So that we can write one HTML code separately. So that we can, that is the first thing we learned on the day one. Why do we create components? So that we can manage our HTML properly. So that we can manage our functionalities properly. So that we can, reuse the same things, same HTML again and again. That's what we are doing. So we'll take this whole nav and we'll ask this header.jsx to give it to me. Okay, that's it. And now where I was writing that whole logic, there I'll simply now just put header component. That's all. That's it. So rather than writing that whole code here, put that code separately in a different component and then put header here. That means at the end the same. Guys, again, I hope you remember the day one and day two, right? That we learned. That we are simply, if you're loading a component anywhere, that simply means at that place, you are simply loading this whole HTML there. That's all. Simple. We have just divided it into 2 pages. That's all. Okay, there is some issue. What is that? What is that? Am I not loading it properly? Header and homepage, yeah, it's fine. But Ame, in this case, we also want the homepage to go away, right? We don't want the header to go away, but we want the homepage to go away, correct? So we can't keep it same. Again, it depends on the requirements. But again, guys, let me see what's happening. There is something going on. Let's check out the console. Link is not defined. Okay, guys, the problem is C. Yes, Dhanush, exactly. I forgot. See, guys, we have imported link here, but now we are not using it here. We are using it in this component. So let's import it quickly. Yes, I forgot that. So import link from React routed DOM. Okay, and now it's fine. All set. Okay, here we go. So guys, if you try to keep header and homepage same, so if you put them as the same part, but you want the homepage to go away, right? See, when I click on about, the home page goes away. The home component goes away. So if I put my header and home same, then header will also go away, right? I want the header to be there. That's why I'm putting it separately. Header is not dependent on routing. Header is always there. Header is not dependent on routing, guys, but home component as of now is dependent on routing. Is that cleared, everyone? Guys, please tell me, are we cleared with this whole logic? Can you please confirm that? I hope this whole idea is cleared. I hope there is no confusion. Can you please confirm that, everyone? Come on, quickly. And also, guys, if you're understanding everything and if you're enjoying the whole thing, please like the video as well. Come on, guys. Let's go. Let's keep the target of 30 likes. Let's see if we can reach 30 likes in today's video. Have we reached it? Yes, okay, we have already reached 30. Let's try to reach 35. Okay, small targets, slow targets. Let's go. Can we create a similar header, give HTML footer? Yes, Naveen. Now, if you create a footer, you don't have to give it to all the components. If you want it everywhere, just put it in the app component only. That's it. Right. Now, guys, let me show you, because I'm teaching you complete routing, let me show you what if you have some internal routing as well. For example, see guys what I'm trying to say you. Add styles after linking link tag. Yeah, we can add it. Definitely, guys. We can also do styling on link tag, just like you do it on a tag. Completely fine. Okay, for example, let me do it. Let me give it the class names. So let me go to this link and give it a class name. Class name of link. So let's give it to everyone. Okay, and let's go to the CSS now. Yes, exactly. You can use it. See guys, I'm using it now. So dot link, I've given it to the link tab. Text decoration, none. So that, see, underline is gone now. Understood guys? So I'm just putting this text decoration. You can do whatever you want. Okay, so text decoration, none. And the line is gone, underline is gone. Okay guys, are we cleared with this everyone? Hopefully we are cleared. Okay. No, they are different. They are different, Bilal. They are different. They are different. They are different, buddy. Okay. Now, guys, let's move ahead. Okay. And let me show you how to do child routing or secondary routing. Because, see, guys, this was the main routing. See, what do I mean by main routing? That means when you're writing your routing logic directly in browser router. See, these are your main routes. Okay. These are your main routes. So on the app component, see guys, again, listen to me carefully. On the app component, you are writing browser router. Inside the browser router, you're mentioning that on this path, load this component. On this path, load this component. This is your main routing. Now, sometimes, so guys, these are your main components. Think of them as your main routing components. Think of them as your main components. But now sometimes, let's say inside the about component also, you might have some links. And based on that, you want to load different components. Let me show you what I'm trying to say. Let me show you guys. See, listen to me very carefully, you'll understand. So let's say we go in about, and inside about also, let's say we create 3 links. Very simple, guys. I hope you're understanding. 3 simple links. UL, LI. Guys, I'm not styling that much. I hope you understand. So again, let's say we create few links here. Let's say, images, something like that. Images. Then let's say prices. Okay. And then let's say location. Okay, 3 routes. I'm planning to create 3 links. So now we know that, see, you can see here, right, everyone? Can you see that? So inside about us now, we have the text and we have 3 more links. Okay. Now let's create these 3 separate components as well. Should we, guys? Should we go ahead and do it? Let's create 3 components for this as well. Small components: image, price, and location. Okay. So new file, a new component. Let's call it as image.jsx, a simple dummy component, function image. Guys, please focus. You'll understand everything. Please focus. Just keep focusing. Okay. Let's say this simply returns a simple h1, like image component. Guys, again, now you know, right? You can put anything you want here. Correct, guys? You can put anything you want here. Export default image. Okay. Now, guys, again, if you want to give a better folder structure, you can create one more folder, about hyphen components. Like those are the components which are related to about, and then you can put these in that folder. Right now I'm creating it openly. Let me do it. Let me do proper folder structuring as well. So let me create a new folder here and let me call it as about. So now see, guys, about is our main component. That's why it's in components folder. Now I'm also creating one folder called as about, and I'm going to keep this image component inside that about folder, because I want this image component to be a child of about. That's why I'm putting it there. Understood, guys? Again, you can keep it directly outside just to maintain a good folder structure. Just for our understanding, we are doing it so that the files don't go here and there. We are trying to maintain a better folder structure. Is that clear, guys? Everyone getting the idea here? Again, guys, you can create it anywhere. I hope you understand. Just to maintain structure, we are doing it. Okay, so one component done. What was the next one? One more related to about. See, so whatever is related to about, whatever component will become child of about component, I'm putting in about folder. Okay, everyone. What was the next one? About and location. So let's say location.jsx function location. Okay. Return, let's simply say, a simple h1. I am location component. Simple idea, nothing big, simple, very easy. And let's do export default location. Okay, one more component. And what was the last one, guys? I forgot. Prices. Okay, very simple. So new file, prices.jsx. Same logic. Okay. Function prices. Let's say this is prices component. Okay, guys, are we cleared? So see, about is our main component, which is inside components folder. And then whatever components I want to load inside about component, I'm putting them in about folder for our easiness of understanding. You can also put them outside. It doesn't matter where the component lives, right? You simply want to import it and use it. But just for better folder structure, we are putting it inside a about folder so that it's easier for us to understand where all the components related to about are present or stored. Okay. Now then, let's move on. Let's do basic routing. So guys, see, now let's close everything else first of all. Close all. Okay. Now, this is the place below here. I want to load those components. So let's say image component. It's not imported. Let's hope it will be imported now. Is it imported? No, not yet. Let's import it. Why it's not importing? Is it image or something else? Oh, I think image is already there. Something like some component, maybe image. So, okay, fine. Import image from, where is it? / about / image. Okay. Sometimes it may happen, guys. So please don't worry about it. And now you can see the image component is loading. Can you see that, guys? The image component is loading. Okay. Now same structure, guys. See, please now try to compare this with the older thing that we have learned. I'm loading the image component and I'm also loading, let's say the prices component, and I'm also loading the location component. Let's load all of them quickly. Import prices from / about / prices. Import, what was the next one? Location / about / okay. So now, guys, we are loading 3 components and we are loading all them 3 here. Guys, now you tell me, okay, is it not loading? What happened? Is there some error here? Nope, here it is all set. Okay, why is it lagging? Let's close it once. What happened? Is it some keyword issue? Like I'm calling it location and all that stuff. Okay, now it's working. I don't know. Something happened there. Maybe we were writing the code too fast. Okay, it's okay. Fine, guys. See. Now, guys, just think. Initially, in app component, we loaded all the components together, right? About us, product, services. So then we wrote the routing logic to load them based on the route. Correct, everyone? Same thing here, but now it's happening in a child component. We have the about us component, and inside that I'm loading 3 different components: image component, prices component, location component. But I want these 3 to again load on based on some route. Right, guys, everyone? Okay, and I want it to be child route. For example, /about will load the about component, and after that, let's say /location. So this should load the location component. /about /location. That means in about component, open the location component. That is what we want to achieve. About /location. So /about is opening about component. /about /location is opening the location component. And then /about /image is opening the image component. Is that cleared, guys? So how to make sure that kind of routing works? Now, guys, see, you can't write the routing logic here. You can't write the routing logic here. No, that's not possible. You can't write the routing logic inside about file. Routing logic will always go in your browser router area only, no matter if it is parent routing or child routing. Okay, everyone, remember that. So your main routing logic will always go in your main component only, where you have written browser router. Okay. So here on browser router, you have saying when it is /about, load the about component. So now what you can do is, guys, close this with a proper /route. And now inside this route, you can start writing the child routes. Path, image, element, image. That means you don't have to put it here, these imports. You have to put it here. Okay, same thing. So now we are passing 3 child routes for about. So inside the about route, we are passing 3 more routes for image, for location, and also for prices. Is that clear, guys? Everyone? That's what we are doing. But now the issue is, see, these main routes knew that the home component will load in app component. The about component will load in app component. The product component will load in app component. And same the service component will also load in app component. That means whatever the main routes are, this 1, this 2, this 3, this 4, all these main routes, whatever component they are loading, that will load in app component. But now, where will this child components load their component? Where will this child routes will load their component? And where do you want to load it? I know that I want to load this image component, this location component, this prices component here below here in my about component. That is why, guys. So now see idea. Look at the idea. This route about is your main path. Inside that main path, you have 3 sub paths or sub routes. And whatever component those sub routes are loading, you want to load it in about component below here. That's why here you have to pass one tag called as outlet, which also gets imported from React Router DOM. Now, wherever you want to pass, you can pass that outlet. Okay. So now it will work like this. See, this is about component. Which path is loading it? /about path. Okay. So whatever path is loading it, whatever path is loading your about component, this outlet is responsible for loading that path's child routes. And that's how the logic will work. So now this image component, location component, prices component, they won't be getting loaded on app component. They will be getting loaded here where you have mentioned the outlet. Otherwise, they won't load. You have to mention this outlet anywhere. On top here, in the middle here, at the bottom here, it's up to you. But it should be an about component. Why? Because these child routes are of a path /about, which is loading about component. That's why. And now, guys, see this. Oh, there's some issue. What is that? Failed to resolve. Oh, okay, guys. Now it's not dot slash, right? Initially, I was writing it here in about, but now we are writing it here. So it's not dot slash. The path has changed. So now it's dot slash. Is it dot? No, it's component. Sorry. So dot slash components. Components. Right? We are also getting inside components folder, right? See, initially about and this about folder, about component and the about folder were together. So it was fine to dot slash about. But now the whole thing is in component folder and your app.js is outside, right? So you have to go through the component folder /about folder /image component. Is the idea cleared, guys? Can you please confirm that quickly, everyone? Is the idea cleared? Can you guys please confirm that quickly? And now it should be fine. And also, guys, don't forget to convert these things into link. Okay. So again, the link tag. link images. Okay, link to. Now guys, see, remember, understand, please. If you want to reach to this component, image component, if you want to reach to image component, your path should be the parent plus the child. That means slash about slash image. Okay, let me show you if that is working. See, so slash about slash image. See, the image component loads. Slash about slash prices. The prices component load. Slash about slash location. So this is the path now. So that is what you have to mention. So link to slash about slash image. And guys, if you create n number of child routings other than main, see, after the main routing, once the main routing is done, if you create n number of child routing, that many outlets you have to use for different components. Remember that, okay? If you create child inside child, then again outlet inside outlet will also be there. So please focus. While doing these things, please focus. Please take care of while writing these codes. For child routing, you have to always use outlet. For the main routing, it's fine. It will work normally, the way it worked, I think 15 minutes before. But after that, it should all be outlet. Child routing will always go in the outlet area because it's very important to define, right? See, you're writing main routing in app component and you're also loading the component in app component. So it's fine. You're writing main routing in app component and you're also loading the main components like about us, product and all that in the app component. So it's fine. But you're writing the child routing in app component, but you want to load those child components in the other component inside about us or inside product. So now they are not connected. That's why that outlet is defined. Outlet makes sure that, okay, whatever the child routing is loading, I will load it in here. That's why. Yes, yes. Is that cleared, guys? Everyone, can you please tell me, yeah, we cleared with this, everyone? Getting my point, what I'm trying to say here, just to give you clear confirmation, guys. See, for the main router, for the main route, you're loading this home in app component. But for the main slash about, you're loading this about component in the app component, right? But this child route image, you're writing it on the app JSX. You're writing these child routes also on the app component. But you want these component not to be loaded on app component. You want these component to be loaded on inside the about component. That's why you have to mention where. That's why outlet. What if I want the child to take the whole page? If you want the child to take a whole page, then that means it should not be a child component. Then it's a separate main component, right? Then you'll create a separate route for it, right? Then it's not a child route, buddy. If you want the child not to be inside about component and it should take a whole page, then you will create a separate route for it. And that route can have multiple names, slash this, slash this, slash this. Getting my point? Then it is not a child route. Okay, getting my point, buddy. Like for example, to service, you can write slash service, slash S1, slash S2, slash S3, something like this, right? Right. So see, now if I go slash service, slash S1, slash S2, slash S3 and see, it loads a service component. I think you mean like this. Correct? If it is child routing, it will be a child component only. If you want it to take a whole page like this, only the path looks different, but it should be a main route component, parent route. So let's call these as parent routes. 1, 2, 3, 4 are your parent route. And only these 4 or the other parents, 5, 6, whatever you create, they can only take the whole page. If you create anything inside that, that is a child and it should be loaded in the inside the component using outlet. If you're planning that, okay, no, I want my child component to take a whole page, then it's not a child component. Right, Drex? Are you getting my point, buddy? Then it's not a child component. Correct? The definition is different then. Is that clear, buddy? So you can also give a path like this. It's okay. Let's quickly complete this. Prices. Guys, I hope we are getting cleared with all this stuff. Right? So you have to think, what do you want? You have to think always. And everything has an answer. Just think properly. And now guys, here we go. So home, about, inside about, images, prices, location. So these are child components because they are loading inside about us. If you want any one of this component to take a whole page, then why to create it like a child component? Create it like a separate parent component, right? Buddy, that's the main thing. Like this, product, service. Okay. Now see the service is not loading. Why? Because I have changed the path of service, right? Now service path is not slash service. It is service slash h1 slash h2 slash h3. So we have to pass this exact same path in link. Right, see here I'm mentioning service. So pass the proper path. So it looks like that you're going inside child. It looks like that you're going inside child, but you're not. It looks like, but you're not having any child component here. Yes, yes, guys. Also, yeah, one very important thing. I think so. Let me try. You should never pass slash, but let me check. I'm not confirmed. Let me check if it works. Yeah, see, you should never pass a slash in here. You should never pass a separate slash. Only to the main ones you can pass a slash. In the child routing, don't pass slash. Don't pass slash. Okay, it won't work. Okay, so in the child routes, don't pass slash. Okay, is that clear, guys? So I want to ask, in pop-ups we use same criteria? No, in pop-ups it's hiding and showing of component the way we have done it in previous one. We can create a button, we click on that, we show, we click on that, we hide. So that's not routing. But yeah, we can also use routing to create pop-up, but that's not needed. That's not needed. When the Discord community coming, yeah, I have created the server now, so you guys can join and maybe we can discuss from tomorrow. So I think today the chill stream won't be possible, but yeah, from tomorrow we are going to have chill streams almost every night. Or maybe alternate nights where you can come and ask your doubts relating Node.js, related to JavaScript. It will be completely doubt solving stream. Can we many outlets? Yeah, Naveen, yes, as many outlets as you want, for because routing can be parent inside child, inside child, inside child. It can have multiple levels. So you can go to any level. Just write the code properly. You can go to any level of routing. Is that clear, buddy? Naveen, are we clear with that? Apart from our course, in my project, I have the admin, employee, HR, how to create endpoints for 3 people where HR and admin has the access to view the employee data. That's simply conditional based, buddy. That's easy. That's simply conditional based. So, you know, when someone logs in, you get the role from database. And if the role is HR, you write if the role is HR. So in React only you write if role is HR, this component. If role is admin, this component. If role is employee, this component. That's how you do. So you log in, you get the role from database. Once you get the role, based on if and else, you simply change the, what do you say, component. That's all. That's how that is conditional rendering. Because you want the conditions to be taken care of, right? And wait, I'll give you guys the Discord link. Just give me a second. Wait. And then we can move on to useRef. Guys, I hope you're ready for useRef, everyone. Because today we'll do it, right? So I hope you're ready for useRef. Wait, let me give the Discord link to all of you. And then we can go ahead and, you know. Okay. Guys, also I'm learning how to use Discord. I have not used Discord properly. Please make the video downloadable whenever you finish lesson. Okay, definitely. Are doing reading data for API or MySQL? Yeah, Naveen. We have created the API, right? So I think you were not there in that particular course. So just before the React course, we did a Node.js course where we created a nutrition tracker API. And in this React course, we are going to be using that nutrition tracker API to create the front end. So guys, I'm giving you the Discord link. And from tomorrow you can join it. Like join it right now, but from tomorrow you can come with me. You can talk to me. I'm not very used to Discord. I used it way back. So I again have to learn. At least I have to watch a tutorial on how to use Discord because I'm not that active on Discord. So yeah, I have to learn a little bit. Once I learn it, don't worry. Then we can come and talk there. But I want to pin this chat. What's happening? Where is the pinning option? Come on. So guys, I hope you can see the link here. Everyone, is the link visible to you? Why the pin chat message is not coming for my messages? What's happening here? Yes, don't worry. I'm going to be using separate component for useRef. Don't worry. It's a very easy topic. Don't worry. So guys, I've given the Discord link. Is it opening? Okay, it's not working as a link, right? I don't know why. Why is it not working as a link? Wait. Let me quickly open my Discord. Let me learn it right now. How to share, invite people, and where is the link? Edit, invite, generate a new link. Okay, guys, I'm giving you guys the link now. Hopefully it will work. Is it working now? Is the link working? Now, why the link is not working? I'm not understanding that. Even if I'm passing, I don't know why it's not working, guys. I don't know. Normally, a link should work, right? It's a popular link. Why it's not working, I don't know. What's happening with this? What about use callback, use memo, use context? I'm planning a separate session for that, Ramesh. So first we are focusing on all the main and fundamental things. Then maybe after that I'll be having a separate session to explain 3-4 more hooks like use memo, use context and all that stuff. Because as this is a course for all the beginners who are learning from scratch. Okay, but maybe I'm planning for separate sessions. It worked for you? Okay, that's great. It's clickable, just not showing owner. Okay. Is it clickable? Okay. Then what is this? Why can't I click on it? Okay, I hope. Okay, fine then, guys. I hope it's working. So from tomorrow we'll be doing those chill streams. You can come there and you can talk to me, and I can solve your doubts and all that stuff. Sir, conduct a session for career guidance and resume reviewing. Sir, will be useful. Yes, definitely, buddy. Definitely. Don't worry. Okay. So guys, now let's go, everyone, and let's learn the last thing for today, which is going to be a use ref hook. Ready, guys, everyone? Shall we? And for that, I am going to be creating one new component, which I'll be calling as dummy. Okay, so let's simply call it as, let's call it as ref demo.jsx. Okay, everyone. So ref demo.jsx, let's create it, function ref demo. Okay, and guys, I'm going to be putting this directly without any routing so that you can understand what's going on. Okay, so return h1 use ref demo, export default. Now guys, you have to call back your use state logic so that you can understand it. So please call back your use state. I hope everyone remembers use state, everyone. Okay, now let's load this component on app.jsx directly, not inside browser router, because I don't want it to be a part of routing. So guys, I'm loading it directly. Okay, I'm loading it directly just to use it directly. Simple. So guys, here you can see useRef demo, hopefully on top separately. Okay, now please focus, everyone. Please focus. Let's apply some CSS to it. So first of all, I want a div here. App.css. Let's write some CSS for that quickly. Just giving it a size so that you can see it as a box. So padding of 40 pixel and background color light green. Okay. So guys, on top we have this component. Okay, green component. It's a separate component. Okay. And now if you want, you can also hide the other things. Like for example, just to show you what I can do, I can hide this whole browser router. Okay, for some time, let's hide it. So now you only have this. So guys, now once you open this, you can hide and show those two things. So now see guys, I'm hiding the browser router component, which is responsible for doing the routing stuff. Leave that. And now here I'm creating a separate component called ref demo, inside which I'm going to be giving you the or showing you the example of useRef. Okay, useRef hook. So guys, ready everyone? Let's go. Let's go. So now first of all, I hope you guys remember use state hook. Okay. So guys, why do we have use state hook? Everyone come on, tell me. Use state hook is a hook that you use to create state variables. What is the importance of state variable? We know now that whenever a state variable changes, the component re-renders. Correct guys? Everyone? Right? Whenever the state variable changes, the component re-renders. That is what we know and that is what we are using it for. So whenever the state variable changes, the component re-renders and you can see the UI update. And that is the reason we are using state variables for most of the things, because we want the UI to get updated. Let's create it quickly. So let's say name, set name equals use state. Okay, and let's say it is initially Saurabh. Okay, and now let's have a simple h1 and let's display that there. So name, and let's have a simple button which will change this name. Okay, so button change name. No, Ramesh. So today you'll be surprised. Today you'll be surprised a little bit. If you only think that it is only for direct accessing DOM, no. So today you'll be surprised. Again, only if you don't know what I'm trying to say, you'll be surprised. Otherwise, it's okay if you know. It's completely fine. Okay. So on click, let's change the state variable. Okay. Set name. Okay. And let's change it to Thor. Okay, guys, everyone. Simple idea. Let's open the console as well. And let's see. Here we go. It's changing. Amazing. All good, all good, all perfect. So guys, this is a state variable, correct? Whenever you change the value of the state variable, the component re-renders. And even after the re-render, whatever you have changed the value, it's there. Correct everyone? Guys, correct or not, please tell me. Correct or not, guys? Please, can you confirm that? So to show you this, guys, you know what I'm going to be doing here? I'm going to be using a use effect. Guys, I hope you know use effect, right? Use effect is called whenever a component is rendered and re-rendered. So I'm going to be having a use effect here just to show you something. Use effect will be called whenever the state updates and the component re-renders. So I'm going to be using it to show you few things. Okay, because use effect is called on re-render. So I'm using it to show you a few things. Please focus. So inside this use effect right now, I'm simply going to log the name. And also to avoid few confusions, let's go in our main.jsx and remove the strict mode so that it doesn't load twice, so that we don't get confused. I hope you remember this as well. Okay. So now guys, we know that whenever the state variable changes, the component re-renders. That's why the UI updates. And use effect is called when the component re-renders. So I'm using use effect to track few things for now. So let's go. So you can see now, initially the state variable's value is Saurabh. So my component rendered for the first time, use effect was called, and I'm printing name so that we can see what is the current value of name. It is Saurabh. Amazing. Now if I click on change name, I'm going to be changing the state variable and it will cause re-render and use effect will be again called, and I can see whatever is the new value of name. Okay, now the new value of name is Thor. That means state variable got updated. Amazing. Now this is something that we already know. This is not the big thing, but now let's check it for a normal variable, guys. Let's check it for a normal variable. Let's say I have a variable called as A. Okay, or let's call it as n variable, nvar, normal variable, equals, let's say we give it a value of hello, or maybe let's say something like 0. Okay, guys, everyone. And let's also display this. Or let's not display it, it's okay. Let's simply print it. Console.log nvar. And guys, please focus, okay? Please focus that when I'm changing the state variable, at that time, I'm also changing the value of nvar to 1. Okay, guys, everyone. So see, I have one state variable. I have one normal variable. State variable's value initially is Saurabh. Normal variable's value initially is 0. Correct. Now, when I click on the button, I'm changing the name state variable to Thor, which will cause re-render. It's okay. And I'm also changing the nvar to 1, which will not cause re-render, but I'm simply changing it just to see. So whenever it changes, use effect will be called. Whenever the re-render happens, use effect will be called. And at that time, I'm printing name and nvar to see what is their value after re-render. Okay. So let's see now. Please focus. So initially Saurabh and 0. So Saurabh and 0, all good. Now if I click on this, Saurabh will change to Thor, which is the state variable, which will cause re-render. Okay, and use effect will print the new value of state variable. But I want to see what happens to nvar because I'm also changing it to 1. Let's see. Click. And see guys, Saurabh got changed to Thor, but nvar is still 0. So you know what happened? Here, nvar became 1. When I clicked on the button, nvar became 1. But because I was changing the state variable, the component re-render. And whenever a component re-renders, normal variables reset to their initial value. That means normal variables new value doesn't persist after re-render. Whatever is the initial value, that will work for initial render. If the component re-renders and if you have changed the value, after re-render, it will reset to initial value. See, it's a state variable. For the state variable, whatever changes happened, we can see it after re-render. It was Saurabh. Okay, we changed it to Thor. Component got re-rendered. And yeah, I can still see it has changed to Thor. So the change value is there. But normal variable, initially it was 0. I made it 1. But component got re-rendered. So it again became 0. Got the point, everyone, what I'm trying to tell you, what I'm trying to explain? Are you getting the point, guys? Please tell me. Are you getting the point? And if you are, please like the video, guys. Come on, let's reach 40 likes today. I don't know if we have reached 40 likes. Come on, let's go. Let's go for 40 likes. Guys, understood everyone? Okay, we have already reached 40 likes. Let's go for 45 likes. Come on, small targets. And thank you so much for liking the video. Guys, have we understood this first of all? So, no matter how many re-render happens, if we have changed the state variable, that change will be there. That means state variables are always there no matter how many re-render happens. If the state variable's value has changed, you will always see the changed values no matter after 10 re-render, 20 re-render, 30 re-render, and no matter how many state variables. That means state variables values persist throughout re-renders. Re-renders don't reset state variables. No matter how many re-renders happen, state variable's value persists. But if it is a normal variable, and if that variable is getting changed with something, but if re-render happens, normal variable will reset back. So initially it was 0, I changed it to 1, but when re-render happened, it again became 0. But it didn't happen for state variable. State variable was Saurabh, it got changed to Thor, and after re-render, it is still Thor. So the value is persisting. Okay. And now guys, before we start useRef, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, guys. If you're new, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Let's reach 2.7k. Okay, now listen to me carefully, guys. What if you want a variable whose value persists throughout re-renders, but you don't want it to be a state variable? So see, guys, let's go. State var, what is the meaning of state variable? Okay, value will persist. That means it will be there, it will exist. Value will persist, but state variable causes re-render. So causes re-render. Normal variable, normal var doesn't cause re-render. Okay, but doesn't persist. So I need something in between these two. I need a variable whose value will persist, unlike normal variable, and it will not cause re-render. So I want the persisting feature of state variable, and I want not causing re-render feature of normal variable. Is that clear, guys? And that is where the useRef hook comes in. useRef is a hook which lets you create variables whose value persists throughout re-renders. But if you change the value of useRef variable, it doesn't cause re-render. So it is like a combination of normal variable and a state variable. So sometimes you might need a variable which is like this. You want the value of that variable to persist, but you don't want it to cause re-render. Is that clear, guys? We can use const average, buddy. If you use const, then the value will not change, right? We want the value to change. We want the value to change. We want the value to change. We don't want the value to be fixed, buddy. You're getting my point? Changed value should persist. I want that. Let me mention it very clearly. So if I use const, average DSA guy, if I use const, in that case, what will happen? In that case, we can't change it. We want to change it. I'm saying I want to change it. But the change resets when the component re-renders. Right? Getting my point? Initially, I hope, okay, now you got the idea? Yes, good. See, my nvar is 0. I'm changing it to 1. But this 1 goes away. When the component re-renders, this 1 goes away. I'm still back to 0. What if I wanted to use that 1? Then what? Getting the point? So guys, that is where useRef comes in. You can use it like a normal variable. You can change its value. And no matter how many re-renders happen, its value will never change. Its value will never reset. You can change it on your demands. But if your component re-renders, its value will not reset. Whatever is the new value, that will persist. But second case, if you change the useRef variable, it will not cause re-render. So it's in between the state variable and normal variable. It's a combination of both and has the good features of both. So let me show you. So let's create a variable using useRef now. So again, guys, you need that hook. It also comes from React. And let's create a variable to show you everything. So okay, you don't have to put brackets. So let's say we call it as rvar, which is useRef variable. Okay. So guys, you have to define it like this: useRef and then some initial value. So let's say we pass as, something like 0, 1. Is that clear, guys? Again, it can be anything. It can be anything. Okay. Fine. 10. Okay, it was getting confused in that thing. Okay, so okay, all good. Basically, instead of 0, 1, put just 1. So I'm putting 10. Is that clear, guys? Everyone, I'm putting 10. Now, let's try to change this as well. But now, guys, you have to understand one thing here. That whenever you create variables with useRef, let me show you. Whenever you create variables using useRef, they don't directly hold the value. These variables directly don't hold the value 10. These variables directly don't hold the value 10. They are actually created as an object. And inside that object, there's a property called as current, which is created. And inside that value is stored. So when you're doing this, variable equals to useRef 10, internally this variable is actually getting this. Is that clear, guys, everyone? So whenever you create a variable with useRef, that variable will never hold the value directly. Will never hold this 10 directly. This rvar is not getting this 10 directly. This rvar is actually getting an object inside which a current property is there, inside which this 10 is there. So basically one extra property, that's all. One extra property, that's it. Let me show you. I'm printing it just to show you. See that, guys? See, current 10. So when the component re-renders, renders for the first time, I'm printing the state variable name, I'm printing the nvar, which is 0, and I'm printing the rvar, which is holding value of 10. And you can see, initially state variable is Saurabh, initially your normal variable is 0, and initially your ref variable is having current 10. Is that cleared, guys? Everyone, are we cleared? Please tell me. Are we cleared, guys? Now let's do this. Now when I click on the button, I'm changing the state variable, I'm changing normal variable, and let's also change the reference variable. So rvar dot current equals 20. So see guys, now please can you see that? I'm changing all the three. Everyone, I am changing all the three. Can you see that, everyone? Okay. And only this will cause re-render. This will not cause re-render. This will not cause re-render. Only the state variable change causes re-render. But now I want to see how many of them hold their changes after re-render. And I'm sure only state variable change will hold its new value. Normal variable will not hold its new value. But I want to check if rvar is holding its new value. So let's see. So now see guys. Final showdown. Let's go. Initially, state variable is Saurabh, normal variable is 0, and useRef variable is 10. I click on this button, state variable will change, component will re-render, we know that, and after re-render, state variable will hold its new value. It will have its new value, which is Thor. Normal variable, it will reset to 0. But let's see the useRef variable. And here we go, see that? State variable is having its value. Normal variable back to 0. But useRef variable, new value, 20. And that is what useRef is used for, guys. To create variables which hold values even after re-render. But if you ever change a variable, useRef variable, they don't cause re-renders. Remember guys, only state variable changes cause re-renders. Is that clear, guys? I hope you're understanding the point. Hopefully. Guys, everyone, are we cleared? Can you please confirm that once? Quickly. Are we cleared? And let's also aim for 60 likes, guys. Come on, we have already reached 50 likes. Let's aim for 60 likes. Okay. So let me do it once more. Let me just give you, Akhilesh is asking, sir, can we repeat once? Okay. See, buddy, read this carefully. If it's a state variable, okay, so changed value, so whenever you change a state variable, you know component will re-render. After re-render, whatever is the new value of state variable, it will persist. It will be there. Okay, see, okay, let me just do it. Let me show it again. Okay, I know guys, initially it is a little tricky to understand. See, okay, here you go. See, explaining it once again. I have a state variable name. I have a normal variable nvar. I have a useRef variable rvar. Initial value is Saurabh, 0 and 10. Correct? You can see it here in the browser. Saurabh 0 and value is 10. Current 10. That is the object. Correct, everyone? Now, when I click on this button, I am changing the state variable from Saurabh to Thor, which will cause re-render. I know that. It will cause re-render. Correct? But we already know that this will cause re-render, but whatever is the new value of state, that will be there. So even after re-render, initially state variable was Saurabh. After re-render, it is Thor, and Thor will be there. It will have the new value. But I'm changing the nvar to 1. So I'm expecting that after re-render, nvar also should be 1 because I'm changing it to 1. But no, that doesn't happen. After re-render, normal variable resets to 0. And I also want to check what will happen to useRef variable because initial value is 10 and I'm changing it to 20. So this will cause re-render, and these are the 3 new values. We are trying to see how many of them hold their new values. That's what we're trying to see. In these 3 variables, how many of them hold their new values after re-render. So if I click on this button, I know it will cause re-render. It will change the state variable, cause re-render. So after re-render, state variable is having its new value. useRef variable is also having its new value, which is 20. And again, guys, remember, useRef variables will never have the value directly. There will be an object in which there will be a current, and that will have the value. Always remember that. And normal variable is not having 1. I tried changing it to 1, but it resets back to 0. Now you understand, Akhilesh, buddy, and everyone else, guys. Have you understood this? Have you understood useRef? Can you please confirm that? So we use useRef variables if we want some data to be there, which I want to change. And I want that change to be available no matter how many re-renders happen. That's when we go ahead. Then how to update the value, sir? Come on, Akhilesh. I have shown you here. That's how you change the value. See, you didn't watch it. You didn't see it. Simple. Initialize it with useRef. Useref and pass a value of 10. To change it, we know whenever you use ref, see what I'm trying to say is again, guys, for everyone, whenever you use useRef, internally this is happening. You don't get the value directly. No. You get your value like this. Current 10. So now you think, Akhilesh, tell me, buddy, this rvar is actually an object inside which you have a property called as current. So how will you change this current? Rvar dot current equals 20. That's how you change the object value, right? That's how you change the property value of an object. Rvar is actually an object. So when you're doing this, internally this is happening. And I want to change current. So rvar dot current. It's an object. Correct? So that's how I have changed it. See here. Yes, Naveen, it is a lot useful. Sometimes you want to store data in a variable, but that variable change should not re-render. But that data should persist throughout re-renders. So what will you use? So think of it like this. Think of it like this, Naveen. I have an object. I have some data. I have some, let's say some data. I want that data that I'm going to be changing that data a lot. I am going to be changing that data a lot. But change of that data should not cause re-render. That means I cannot create a state variable. Change of that data should not cause re-render. That means I can't use a state variable. To store that data, I can't use a state variable because change of that data should not cause re-render. Okay. But I want those data changes to be available if my component re-renders due to some other reason. So it can't be a normal variable because normal variable will reset. It can't be a state variable because state variable will cause re-render. So what kind of variable can I use if I want to store data that will change, but that change should always be there even if the component re-renders with some other reason? Use ref. Is it clear, buddy? Is it clear, Naveen? Understood? Okay. Now, guys, this is only one use case of use ref. This is only one use case. Like this is the main use case, but only one use case. There is one more use case. It's very simple. Use ref is also used for DOM manipulation. Now, see, guys, 95% of the times you won't be doing DOM manipulation in React. In React, you don't do DOM manipulation. It internally happens. Which is the best way to handle form? Use state or use ref? See, I divert a little bit towards use state because in that case, when you use ref to handle forms, that means you're doing DOM manipulation. I don't like doing DOM manipulation in React. That's why I go for use state. So according to me, better is use state. I don't use useRef because useRef, if you're using useRef to control your forms, that means in that case, you're performing DOM manipulation. Once use rvar in web page. Okay, I will use it. Okay, guys, good idea. Let me go and use it. h1 rvar dot current. Okay, guys, so now I'm also displaying the useRef variable here. See that? 10. Initially, it's 10. Okay, buddy? Dhanush? See, guys, again. Please focus, everyone. Okay, let me actually use all of them. Let me use all of them. Okay, let me use all of them. So I was printing in console, but now let's see it here as well. Okay, by printing also. Oh, okay, here we go. See, guys, in console also Saurabh 0 and current 10. In here also Saurabh 0 and 10. Now if I click on change name, see, it changed to Thor. So the new value is there. It changed to 20. New value is there. But it resets to 0 because it was a normal variable. Even though I made it 1, but it resets to 0. Same thing happening in console. Same thing happening on UI. Is that cleared, buddy? Dhanush, I hope it's cleared, buddy. Now it's not confusing. Is it cleared? Dhanush. Same thing. Like if it is happening in console, definitely it will be happening on UI as well, right? Okay. Now, guys, the final thing. Okay. Now I hope you have understood this whole concept and I'll keep it here. Now let me show you one last thing for useRef. That useRef is also used to perform DOM manipulation because useRef is the only kind of variable which can hold HTML elements. So guys, see, first of all, 90% of your time, you will never perform DOM manipulation in React. But sometimes, very rarely, you might want to perform DOM manipulation. For example, let's say you want to pause an audio video. In that case, React may give some libraries, but what if you want to customize it? So you have to go with JavaScript DOM manipulation. So guys, what I'm trying to say is there are rare times where sometimes you want to perform DOM manipulation in React as well. Sometimes, very rarely. So how to do that? Let me show you. So let's say you have this p tag. Okay, guys, just to show you, p tag, hello, everyone. Okay, I'm showing you how to perform. Sir, difference between useState and useRef. Komalpreet? Yes, only re-render. Yes. Okay, so you are telling me. Okay, I thought you were asking after all this. But don't worry. Even if you're confused, I'll still explain you. But yeah, only re-render. Yes. When you change a state variable, component re-renders. When you change a ref variable, nothing happens. Okay? Only the re-render is the difference. Otherwise, they both persist their changes. They both have their changes even after re-render. Yes, good. You have understood. Okay, now guys. Okay, let's go. So let's say you have a button. Okay. Don't worry. Even if you guys are confused, I'll still explain it. Don't worry. Okay, guys, let's go. So let's say I want to do some basic DOM manipulation. Now, guys, again, I am not recommending any DOM manipulation in React. 99% of the times you don't need DOM manipulation. But there are some rare times where you might want to use DOM manipulation. So I'm showing you how to do it if there is some rarely you want to do it. So guys, how to do it? So guys, for that, you can again use useRef. You have to use useRef variables to store elements, because here you cannot use document.getElement by ID and all that stuff. We should avoid that. Okay. So how to do it? So let's say this is my P and this is the button. Let's say change content. Okay. So guys, what I want to do is when I click on this button, I want to change this content. That is DOM. Like, guys, again, listen to me very carefully. When I click on this button, we can change this content without DOM manipulation. Yes or no? Come on, tell me. Yes or no, guys? Yes or no? If I click on this button, can we change this content without doing DOM manipulation? Just like we are doing it here, right? We can put this content in a state variable. And when I click on this button, we can change the state variable. Yes or no? Everyone, yes or no? So we know that we can change this content on click of this button without DOM manipulation by just React. But now I'm showing you how to do it with DOM manipulation. Just to show you guys, just to show you. So now guys, to do DOM manipulation, you know that first you have to fetch this element. But here we don't use that document.getElement by ID and all that stuff. We don't use that. So then how will we do it? How will we do it? That's very simple. To fetch this element, you will do this. Let's create a variable. And guys, this will be a useRef variable. So let's call it p tag. Guys, again, you can call it whatever you want. I'm calling it as p tag. P tag equals useRef. And don't pass anything. Initially, nothing. I'm just letting the React know that this p tag is going to be a useRef variable. That's all. And now what you have to do is, so I've created a useRef variable. Now you'll go to that p tag element and you will pass a ref attribute, which is a React attribute. Ref, and then pass the name of that useRef variable, p tag, in here. And now they're connected. Guys, now they're connected. That's it. Now inside this p tag variable, this whole p element is stored. That's how simple it is. Guys, again, listen to me carefully. You create a useRef variable, blank useRef variable. So I called it anything, p tag, whatever you want to call, you can call it. And then it's a useRef variable. Amazing. And guys, again, remember, only useRef variables can store elements, not normal variables. Okay, useRef. And then here simply onto that element or whatever element you want to store in the variable, just pass ref and that variable name. Now let me show you. If I print that variable, see what's there in that variable. Guys, can you also see how I'm using my use effect to load my initial things? How I'm using my use effect to load my initial things. Now you understand one more use of use effect. I'm using my use effect to load or print my initial things. Otherwise, where will I do it? It will become very complicated. So I'm using my use effect to load my initial things when the component renders. So now guys, let's see what is stored in that use effect. Can you see that, guys? It is holding a p tag. Can you see that, everyone? Can you see that? It is holding the p tag. When I hover on it, see, that element is highlighted. And it's having all the JS properties that you wanted. See, everyone? So you got the p tag. So inside the current property, you have this p tag. Inside the current property, you have this p tag. Now you can do again, guys, if you have ever watched my DOM manipulation lectures, JavaScript, you know the main mantra to perform DOM manipulation is first get the element. Once you get the element, do whatever you want. You've got the element. Inside this current, you have that p tag. That's it. That's all you wanted. So let's do DOM manipulation. So when I click on this button, so p tag, inside the p tag, you have a current property. And this is holding your p tag, actual p element. Inside this current, you have this p element. That means when you write this p tag.current, you're accessing the p element. And now do whatever you want. Dot style dot. Now guys, again, your normal JavaScript. I'm not suggesting you guys to do it, but again, background color equals red. Basic DOM manipulation. And now let's see if it is working. Oh, my bad, spelling mistake. See that, everyone? DOM manipulation in React, which I'm not recommending, but only for some rare cases. In future, you might want to pause audio, video, play with some controls, or in React, for you, it's simply impossible. If you're thinking that in React, it is impossible to do this. I can do this in JavaScript, but in React, it's completely impossible for me. In that case, go ahead and perform DOM manipulation. But guys, again, use it very wisely. Otherwise, you're playing with React. So use it very wisely. So guys, create a useRef variable. Link that useRef variable with the element that you want to work with by doing this. And then simply current dot. You've got the element, do whatever you want after that. Basic DOM manipulation. Style, inner HTML, inner text, height, width, whatever you want. So guys, cleared with useRef now. I hope now, from now on, you will never be confused in useRef. Yes, Akhilesh, it is enough, buddy. It is enough. It is enough. It's completely enough. Yes. So guys, useRef has two use cases. First is, it is used to store data which can persist throughout re-renders. First use case. Second, it can also be used to store HTML elements which you want to manipulate. Two use cases. That's all. So now I hope routing and useRef is completely cleared and you will never be confused in any kind of interviews if someone asks you what is useRef. And also guys, please, before going away, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, guys. Our target is to reach 3K. Let's try to reach it by the end of January. Let's hope. I'm hoping that we can reach 3K by the end of January. Let's see. You guys can make it possible. Okay. So if you're new, please don't forget to subscribe, guys. I'm going to be coming up with a lot of amazing content, completely free on this channel, complete full stack, not only fundamentals, complete full stack. Okay. Impossible like task, teach easy ways. Thank you so much, Positive. So yep, guys, that is all for today's session. I hope you have understood everything. This whole code will be uploaded on GitHub in the next 10 minutes. The GitHub link is in the description of the video. You can get this whole code from there and play with it and do your own stuff. And guys, the most important thing as a developer, practice. Please practice. Sit and practice it all so that you can master it. And from tomorrow, guys, we are going to be having chill streams as well in the night. So you guys can join the chill streams and ask your doubts directly to me and I'll solve it for you. And we might also play some quizzes, play some games. It's like a friendly chat and all that stuff, right? So we can do that. Today's session was tough to concentrate. Why, buddy? Why, Naveen? There were a lot of tricky things. Was all these things tricky? So guys, again, before you guys go, have you understood everything? Now you just need to practice at least once. If you just practice it once, you'll master it. Once or twice, that's all. So what after React? After React, I'm planning for Next.js, then Flutter app development. and then mobile app development. And then after that, I'm planning for Java full stack and Python full stack. Hopefully, usual, hopefully, buddy. So guys, I hope you guys have completely enjoyed the whole session. I hope you've understood it. Please sit and practice all this, guys. It's my kind request. Please sit and practice so that the project becomes easier for you. Yes, I know, Naveen, I know. I know, buddy, I know. I can understand that. Thank you so much, Komalpreet. Thank you so much. See, guys, sometimes some topics will be a little tricky and sometimes it will be a lot. That's why the best thing is it is recorded. So you can again watch it and again solve your doubts. The main aim in the live session is that you can ask your questions directly to me and understand everything from here. Okay. Second important part, second best part here is it is recorded. So you can again sit, watch routing separately, learn routing properly, implement it, watch useRef separately. Okay. Okay, so that's TypeScript. Yeah, definitely, guys. I'm also planning for that. I'm also planning for TypeScript and then TypeScript with React with TypeScript. I'm also planning for that. So, yep, guys. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much. That's all from today. Now I'll see all of you tomorrow when we talk about context API, one of the very important topics in React for global state management. Okay, we'll talking about context tomorrow, and that's it. And after that, we'll be moving on to project. And yeah. So yeah, guys, thank you so much, everyone. Please, before going away, subscribe to the channel and share the video with your colleagues, with your college friends. Let's try to reach 3K before the end of January. Hopefully, we'll reach it. So yeah, guys, thank you so much, everyone. Bye-bye, guys. Good night. I hope you enjoyed the whole session. See you all tomorrow. Bye-bye, guys. Bye-bye. Thank you so much, everyone. Good night. Good night, guys. Bye-bye. 4K by the end of Jan. Oh, that will be amazing. Let's see, Abdul Ahmed. You guys can make it possible. Let's see, Abdul Hamid, if we are reaching there or not. Discord link I have given, right? Yeah, Redux is there. Don't worry. Redux is there. I have changed the date for that. I have changed the date for that. Don't worry. It's there. It's there. Don't worry. It's there. It's there. I've shared the link, right, for Discord. I think so. Thank you so much, Nikita. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It means a lot to me that you guys are supporting me that much. Sir, can we have a Python full stack just after React? Yeah, why not? After next, I'm planning for Python full stack. Sir, is context API important? Yes, very important. Context, you can think of it like a competitor of Redux. Context is a competitor of Redux. Redux is a third party tool. Context is inbuilt in React. So you have to learn either one of them. I'm going to be teaching you both. I'm going to be teaching you both, Karan. But yeah, context and Redux are exactly this. Like they are made for doing the exact same thing. Global state management. That's why I'm teaching you context because that is the internal part of React. Redux is a third-party tool, but I'm also going to be teaching you that because I know a lot of people use it. Okay. So yeah, guys, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. Chill stream tonight, not tonight, because I have to, schedule that stream first. So from tomorrow, definitely it will be there. From tomorrow, definitely it will be there. Redux, I have not cancelled Akhilesh. I have just moved it. I have to just schedule a stream. Don't worry, buddy. I just have to schedule that stream. I have not cancelled it. Don't worry. Okay, don't worry, buddy. Don't worry, Akhilesh. Don't worry at all. It will be there. It will be there. Okay. So, yeah, guys, that's all. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye bye. See you all tomorrow. Good night. Have a great night. Have good food. I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye bye, everyone. Bye bye. Good night.